Hey everybody, Debbie here with another Stratego game analysis. This is our mystery player series, game number 10. We're 9-0. We're trying to win 10 in a row. We won 9 in a row. We're going for 10. We're at 210 ELO. And the opponent we're playing is a Bronze Lieutenant. He's over 500 by 4 games. So maybe we'll get a decent game this time. I don't think he's probably a lottoer yet. He's probably learning the game. So let's see what happens. Oh, by the way, I'm not mystery player. I'm just doing the mystery player series like he did. You can watch mystery player on his channel when he went 25-0 starting at 100 ELO. And he won 25 in a row. So I'm trying to do it, except I'm doing it with the flag up front. And I think in most games I'm swapping the marshal with the general when I can. I think I do it in most of the games. So let's see if we learn something in this game. First thing we learn is I can't make a decent setup on the fly. One day I'll get a good setup. This setup was a disaster. I just moved things around, put this bomb down. That's not good. 2 sergeants there. I like this better with the major here. I like that. These bombs are great. This bomb, and the corner bomb. I love these 3 bombs. They're so wonderful. You protect them so scouts don't get them. Minors, sergeants. You want the high pieces to hit these bombs, and they will. But you got to protect them. So let's see what we did. Okay, the marshal's all right here. The general probably should be, I think, 1 higher up when you're counterattacking against low-level players. We're waiting. He's ready. I'm not. I don't like minors up. I really don't like minors on the front row. I like them like in this spot here, and then you pull out in the center and have a scout hit it, and then you pull it back. You just bait 1 scout with a minor. That's like a little minor victory in the game if you do that. This sucks here. I had 2. I don't know why I did that. That's bad. And I probably should have like a captain up here. Don't like that. But let's see how it goes. Okay, don't hit me. That would not be good. We don't want to be scouted. Okay, so my opponent, again, 199, 59, and 55. So we didn't get cocky. We went up and over. He had 2 shots to win the game. All right, now we're just probing. My goal, I'm a counterattacker. I try to find the marshal. That's my whole goal in the game, to find the marshal and then come up with a plan to counterattack. I'm not really an aggressive player until I counterattack. And I try to lose as little material as possible, but I still want to gain information. So my opponent, he's going through scouts early. You really don't find a lot of information early most of the time. Every once in a while you'll catch a marshal lotto or a marshal blitzer with a marshal on the front line. But most of the time you don't find much of value. You might find a bomb, so you don't run a captain into a bomb, or a major if you're going to be aggressive with a major. But usually you don't find a whole lot, so you really shouldn't waste your scouts too early. That'll come back to haunt you if you waste all your scouts in the first third of the game. You need them to figure out if a marshal's coming up the pike or if a general's coming down the road. The difference can be a key. So he's moved a lot of pieces here already. I think he's moved every piece here in the center. These 8 these 4 in the center and 2 on the left and 2 on the right. The problem is every once in a while I have such a hard time remembering this stuff. Because early in the game you move quicker than you usually do during the rest of the game, and you really should be concentrating on, oh, this spot is empty, this spot is, I can hit this later in the game, I can hit this later in the game. That is so key. If you develop a good memory, you're going to win a lot of games. It's not only strategy, but it's memorizing what spots on the board you can attack. That is really key. Finding the marshal and remembering what pieces have moved. So I have a game within a game. I really have to try to clear this column. Oh, we found a bomb. So I'm thinking already this is the weak side, with probably a lot of bombs and a lot of garbage. The flag is probably somewhere over here. The high pieces are probably over here. So now we found 2 bombs. I'm thinking bomb, 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 or bomb, 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 maybe. So he could have won the game. He had 2 shots to win the game. He had a scout here. This is a very popular spot for a scout, so it's very dangerous to have a flag here. Like I said, you'll lose on average somewhere between 12 to 15% of the time, depending on what level of player you're playing. Beginners like to fire their scouts. So we had bomb, bomb, and probably a bomb here. So you probably bombed this side off. And I don't like doing that because you cut off your mobility. You cut off escape lanes, and it's easy to find the bombs early. I just don't like doing that. So we're probing each other. He's already went through 6 scouts. Again, he didn't find much yet. He did find my major. But that's about it. So now he found my major and my captain on this side. That's his 7th scout. So he's firing his scouts early. I'm happy. When you have an open flag, you want them to waste all their scouts early. That makes you very happy. Is this a big piece? Sometimes I don't mind swapping just to make room. I don't like it when it's too congested. I'm a big fan of escape lanes, running back and forth. I figure if all else fail, if you're being chased, you can go to the other side and lotto. So he's winning by a lieutenant and a sergeant. Always check the graveyard to see where you stand. And of course, usually you have the weak piece in front and the strong piece in back. but not always. I could check this piece if I wanted to. I could have went there. Last scout. Wow. See, that's bad. This is, this is just not even the first quarter of the game, and he's gone through all his scouts. He's going to regret that. He's going to wish he had his scouts later on. So we didn't find much there. So we have 2 bombs here, probably a third one here. And again, you have to remember all these pieces moved here. Because when you counterattack, you have to know what pieces to hit, what spots on the board to hit. So now I decided to pull back my major because he's been revealed. And I have, you know, if he comes down with a colonel here, he can get a captain and a major. I don't want that to happen. I'm already down a lieutenant and sergeant, so. You can always tuck it away on the second and first row, make the player's piece come in deep, and then you can always pin them on the back. All right, so now we got the lieutenant back, so that's good. See, I can move my general here now because I don't have to worry about scouts. So we can move our marshal in the open. We can move our spy in the open. We don't have to worry about scouts. So that's a big advantage when a person uses up all their scouts early. Your marshal, your high pieces now can roam freely on your side, and you don't have to worry about being scouted. And I should have checked that piece a long time ago. And I had a perfect opportunity. Remember, there was a low piece and a high piece, and it was trapped. So now we know where the general is, so that's great. And I don't know why I checked that lieutenant twice. That was dumb. I don't know if I was just clearing the lane or I just forgot. That was really dumb. Maybe I was clearing the lane. I don't know. I think I forgot. I have a terrible memory. I'd be half decent if I had a good memory. All right. So now we're just trying. We got the general. Now we want to try to find the marshal. So major here. All right. So major here. So now, when the general's over here, this is probably garbage because he probably has a bomb. We know this is a bomb. This is a bomb. This is probably a bomb. This is all his weak stuff. His sergeants and lieutenant. They're probably all over here with a whole bunch of bombs. Or maybe just the sergeants and lieutenants. And he might have a triangle bomb here with a flag. So he has a major here. So odds are pretty good that this is the marshal or this is the marshal. But with beginners, it's more likely behind the lake. So what we want to do now, the good thing is when your high pieces are hidden, you can bluff. That's the key to bluffing. Keep your marshal and general and colonels hidden as long as possible. Then every piece can act as a marshal or a general or a colonel, and your opponent will be scared. He has to believe that the piece coming down can take him. So I know this is a major. So what should I do now? What I want to do is try to find out what this piece does, or maybe this piece. But I'm more interested in this piece because this is a common spot for a marshal. Maybe at the start of the game, but even during the game, maybe they had the marshal in the second row and they pulled it up here. So what you want to do is take a piece that you think will be recognized as a high piece and charge at the major. And then hopefully he will reveal his marshal. So what good piece, when you bluff, and then when you bluff, you really want to try to use low pieces. So if you lose it, it's not that big of a deal because all you're using it as a scout. I would prefer this to be a scout or a sergeant. I'm going to pick this piece. He knows my captain. He probably thinks this is a high piece, but this piece is behind the lake too. And if I come out here and go towards the major, he's probably going to think it's my marshal. So that's the goal. Or colonel. It's going to be at least higher than a major. So this is how you bluff. When his high piece is revealed, you charge at him with a lower piece to scare him. See where he goes. So he's going over here. And now we have a plan. All these, remember, when we started in the beginning of the game, all these pieces here moved. All of them. All these spots here. So I have my general in a perfect spot for a counterattack. If this is the marshal, you go up here. He attacks you. He's out of place. You blitz with this piece. Now my opponent's general is here. So he's in a good position to play defense. But he's probably worried that this is a marshal. So he might, if this isn't a spy, he might get scared. So that's the problem when you don't have scouts to find out what's coming to attack you. So we have the setup here. I'm just moving some pieces, getting escape lanes here. Put my spy down in the slot here so my marshal can move back in case something goes wrong. I want to be able to defend. If I go up and then he goes down, right? If I go up with my general and he thinks it's my marshal and he comes down, I don't want him getting all these pieces here. So I have to make sure my marshal can get over here. So the whole goal now is to find out what this piece is and then counterattack. And the bad part is he's moved all these pieces here. He's moved them all. So this is we think this is the marshal. We think this is the general here. Oh, we know that's a general. So now not only is he going to be overextended here with his marshal, he blocked his path. So when he takes this, he can't get back right away to play defense. So that was a mistake. So sure enough, we found the marshal. So now I'm down. That cost me a lieutenant. So I'm down a lieutenant and a sergeant. But now he's in trouble. He's out of position. He's moved all these pieces. He doesn't know what this is. If this is my marshal and he takes me, he loses his general and he's going to lose. He's going to quit. Because beginners just can't overcome losing a general. That's almost even worse than losing their marshal. So he'll quit. So he doesn't know what this is. And if this isn't a spy or this isn't a spy, then he's got to move because he's worried that I might take him. Because a lot of players, like myself, will sacrifice a marshal for the general. So let's see what he does. So he moves this way. Now I start killing pieces. I'm like, okay, we know that move. Oh, that was a major. And this was the major we chased with the lieutenant. So we got that. And see, he should have moved that out. There was no reason why he couldn't move that out and get away. He could have gotten away. I moved down. He could have moved up with the 2 square rule. He didn't know the 2 square rule. And he could have come around here and come back towards the marshal to safety. So because he didn't know the 2 square rule, he lost a major. So now we get the major. We come in here. And I'm thinking, because I was concentrating over here during my attack, and I wasn't sure. I was like, the whole middle was clear, right? And I wasn't 100% sure. And so I'm like, did this piece move? And I couldn't pull the trigger. I said, well, better safe than sorry. I'm up 2 majors now, and the spy, and he can't trap me. So I'm happy now getting 2 majors and a spy. Now this is the general. And instead of coming with the marshal, okay, this is kind of unfortunate with these 2 minors here. This was a little debacle. It's a screw up there, losing 2 minors. But you can see it was the junk side, right? 2 sergeants. So now you just have to remember marshal, general, marshal, general, marshal, general. I can get my colonel up here in case somehow a colonel comes by. Ideally, I shouldn't have opened up this because it protected my flag. So now this is a general. So charge with the major instead of the marshal. And that's what most beginners, they make a mistake. They tend to charge with the high piece to try to capture this. But it's going to be very difficult to capture something with 1 piece. So what you try to do is you bluff. And since I have a 2 major lead, I can charge with a major. He's going to think this is a marshal. And then you hope he runs down to the actual marshal, and then you get the general. That's how you bluff. And since this came from behind the lake, it really sells this that it's a marshal. And he found one of my favorite spots for bombs. I love this spot, I love this spot, and I love this corner bomb. These 3 bombs kill so many pieces, and that's why it's important to protect your bombs early in the game so scouts and sergeants and miners don't find them. You want the high pieces to find the bombs. So now his general is gone, and his marshal is just pinning my general, which I don't mind because I'm holding back all these pieces here. None of these pieces can move. So I'm restricting all of his pieces from moving. So that's not really a big deal. And so now the only thing he has left are 2 colonels. So this is probably a colonel. He knows this is a captain, so that's why I have escape lanes. I mean, I could stay over here and do the two square rule dance and stay away from him, but so now I pretend this is a marshal again, And he finds one of my favorite bombs. So this bomb got the general. This bomb got the colonel. Things are going really bad for this player now. So I think we're going to win 10 in a row. So now this piece coming from back here, what do you think it is coming from the back row? That's right, it's probably a minor. Odds are very good it's a minor. So that's how you can tell, reading the board, or reading pieces here, just by looking at where they come from at the start. And he's coming down with his minor. I think he wants to see what this is, if it's really the marshal. And I have to protect these bombs. I don't want him to come down here and get this bomb. So I could have let him get this bomb and still made pretend, you know, bluff that this was a marshal. Thinking about it, maybe that would have been better. It's okay for this bomb to be taken. He already hit it. So now I'm thinking I can hit this piece. I wasn't 100% sure that this moved. But since this is probably bomb, 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 I doubt this is bomb. So I'm going to get my chance in a minute. I'm going to attack that. But that's why it's so important early on to remember all the spots that have moved. And then to remember where the bombs are. Now we didn't check this, but this was a bomb and this was a bomb. So you assume this was a bomb. So now when you're ahead, when you're well ahead, what you should do is swap, because the only way I can really lose is if his marshal goes on a great lotto spree. So now we finally take this piece. If it's a bomb, if he did bomb, 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 then I still would be okay, because I would be up still a colonel and 2 majors. So now this marshal is pinned. It can't do any harm. That's the bad thing when you go down one level. You always want to stay around the lakes if you want to try to get a draw. But when you drop down and your opponent gets on the diagonal, you can't go anywhere. You're pinned. I don't know why he moved this piece up here. I decided I'll take this piece. I don't really care if the marshal goes away. This must have been his last colonel. And now he's looking probably at the graveyard, and that was a mistake. When you're way behind, you don't swap marshals. He should have come down this way, but he wouldn't have gotten much. The most he would have gotten, maybe 2 lieutenants. My spy was here. My marshal could have got back. So he's looking at the graveyard now, saying, it's probably time to quit. And he disconnects. So he was a sore loser. And he got routed. So the big move in this game, let's go back. The big move in the game was right here. I found we knew his general. Well, there were three big things. First of all, he wasted all his scouts. So he couldn't, and he didn't find my big pieces. So that really hampered him. Now, when I found his major here, the key was this bluff. This is a good spot for a marshal. I race towards his major here. He makes a mistake of putting his major, tucks it in here. All these pieces have moved. And my general is ready to counterattack once the marshal is found. He can't attack me because he doesn't know if it's the marshal or the general. Now, most of the time it's going to be the general because the marshal has to worry about spies, but sometimes players bring up a marshal. And the bad part for him, as we found out, his spy was over here. So he was concerned this wasn't a spy, this wasn't a spy. If this was my marshal, he was in trouble staying here. So he had to move away. And then it was bye-bye major, bye-bye major, bye-bye sergeant, or bye-bye spy. And then The final nail in the coffin was when his general was coming down. I bluffed with the major. I hoped he would come down here, but he didn't. But he found the bomb. So bluffing is very important in the game, and you have to learn how to bluff. So watch this game maybe over again, and it should help you out. Lower players usually attack with their high pieces first. Stronger players usually bluff first, so remember that. But then the stronger players mix it up, so that's why they're so good. So that's it for this game. So we've won 10 in a row. That's pretty good with a flag up front, because like I said, you're going to lose 12 to 15% of the games most of the time on average. So we'll work on game 11. Thanks for watching. Bye.